Hi, good evening, folks. Welcome to the Sabre Zone. This is the video where I discuss what you guys got to say. And a little something stood out. Wanted to mention it, touch on it a bit. Shout out goes to Mike Phelan. And he says this. He goes, I'm reading a biography about Scotty Bowman from 1995. When he and Lynn Patrick and Bowman were putting the Blues together, both believed they needed a team with grit. A team that other teams were afraid of to face when they rolled in to town to play them. And I think there's no lie that you guys know I feel that way about our boys. This is one of my main concerns about our team. And we'll just have to see how things pan out this year when it comes to the toughness of the team and the grit. We're going to have to see. It's kind of early, but Mike is spot on with this. He just posted at random when we were talking about grit, basically, in one of the videos or something. It's one of those things that is for me, very concerning more than the talent level of our team. Everybody's so damn concerned about the transition game. When folks, come playoff time, the hardest hitting team usually wins the Stanley Cup. And you guys know it. Not the team with the best transition game. Take a look at how Tampa was playing by the time they got into that series at Montreal. Montreal was the number one hitting team in the league last year. And look, they made the finals with a weak team. Let's be honest, not a very good Montreal team that went to the finals last year. It wasn't just price, it was their physical play. This is the thing that I believe will lead to success for our franchise again. If we can get back to that, guys, we got to get back to playing tough, hard-nosed hockey. And if we can, the blue-collar hockey is like folks in Buffalo like to call it. If we can get back to that, we're going to be okay. You know, and I'm wondering, is this in Granado to teach? This is my concern. I don't know yet. We're going to see this year. We can't just have a freewheeling team. Colorado's proof of that. You can't have a freewheeling team that can just skate and expect to win the cup. It's not happening. Not happening. And if anything, I think McKinnon wanted to call out his team last year, because if you looked, in the playoffs, go look at the games they're hitting per games. I know a lot of Colorado fans, I took a lot of heat on my channel because I called Colorado to lose the first round last year. I knew they weren't going to go deep. I just knew it. And people say, well, how? Because they don't hit. They don't hit enough. And I think that's what Colorado's going to do this year. I'm going to be keeping a close eye on Colorado in that department. They get physical and they start being hard to play that way too, not just with the transition game. Anybody can freewheel. But if you got a wuss team, ask Toronto. You don't go very far in the playoffs. Offensive swing does not equal Stanley Cups. Hard-nosed hockey does, and I'm always going to be a believer in that because it's the truth. It's not a very hard thing to dissect. You just have to go look, say, oh, yeah, well, they kind of turned it around. This and Colorado also last year, don't forget, was one of the top 10 hitting, Tampa was one of the top 10 hitting teams in the league last year, one of the top 10. What does that tell you? There they are. Stanley Cup again. Whereas Colorado were dead last in the league in hits. So this isn't a dig on Colorado because I got a good feeling for Colorado this year. It depends on that part of their game though. If I see them wussing out again, no. The whole McKinnon era is going to fly right by with no cup. Sorry to say, but yeah, that's what I believe. And we're in an era now that can happen. We're in that kind of era right now. That can happen to any player. You know what? Dare I say it? Maybe McDavid might not win a cup in his career. If you looked at Pittsburgh, when they won those cups, my God, Crosby's in the corners. He's taking people hard to the board. So's Malkin. You see it. This is why they were so hated, because they were intimidating your team if you guys played them in a series. Ask Philadelphia. Ask all sorts of teams that played them. Why do you think Boston took them out that year? Remember when Boston took out the Penguins? I think it was 4 straight, and the Penguins got 2 goals the whole series or something. Boston's physical play. This is where the Bruins could go deep. I don't think the Bruins, like I said, I don't think they make good off-season moves, but they have that grit mentality anyways. It doesn't matter. Taylor Hall's not going to come and give you any grit, but what he can do is add a bit of offense. You can't expect him to play like Marchand and Bergeron and those guys that are just willing to let their heads get taken off to win. That's the difference, folks. But a gritty team and a regular team, the gritty team's willing to go to any lengths to achieve success. Whereas the softer teams usually don't have the same success as those teams, you know. On that note, folks, we'll just leave it there. Just my 2 cents on it. I'll see you guys tomorrow at some point. And game day tomorrow, folks. Game day tomorrow. See you then.